Zest is in, where resilience begins, not fixing the cracks.
Hello everyone and welcome to Zest to Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that takes you on a journey from a hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today I am super excited to welcome my guest, Evelyn Kimani. She is the founder of Amini Business Consulting and I should look at it every single time. I will do it one day without making a mistake, but that's how we flow on Zest to Zen. She is a strategic I've just lost my train of thought now. She's a strategic operations partner helping overwhelmed founders and probably overwhelmed podcast hosts as well. We'll probably uncover that. I'm not overwhelmed, I'm joking. Turn chaos into clarity, and that's what we will do today. Through her people-first approach, how appropriate, we will be discussing her method and how she supports so many incredible individuals, particularly women-led businesses across the Middle East and Africa. Wow. To build sustainable businesses that truly support their lives, not just consume them. I am super interested to find out more about that. And if you feel called, I invite you to share a little love to help amplify incredible voices like my guest today. She is already, I know, going to be such a wealth of knowledge as well as a beautiful spirit after already connecting with her. It costs you absolutely nothing, but shares many, but spreads this message. I will get my words out in a minute. And ground spreads this message to many more hearts and minds. Thank you. Enough of me talking. Let's speak to this incredible woman. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I don't know what all that was about, but you know what? Sometimes
I don't know how you got through that.
So on my account.
Yeah.
So thinking about that, actually, and maybe how that just came out, because I feel like there's always a message in everything. So thinking about that, sometimes I think even when we are prepared, we're ready, we're thinking we're calm and we're clear and we're in clarity, sometimes we are running, not necessarily physically, in the mind, in the voice, and it's just interesting. Like, of course, like for me, a lot of the time it's definitely not anxiety. It's more for me, I get so excited to just speak to you that even though I know the intro is a really beautiful way of celebrating you and giving people insights into all that you're creating, I know that that's something that I have to ground myself with and calm down and just be in the present moment and know that it's just as much as a valuable part of the Zest to Zen podcast. But equally, I noticed that it's becoming a little bit of a stumbling block, and probably will be, So I just thinking about that, what would your take be on, particularly when you're working with, say, different women or businesses or organizations that they're not always maybe as conscious of the running or the forceful energy or of the wanting it right now? How do you pull them back and help them ground the chaos? And obviously it doesn't always look like chaos. Bringing the chaos to some more grounded clarity.
Yes. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the intro. It was amazing. And then the long question, but I got it. I got the spirit of it. That's a really good question, honestly, and that led to my method called the Amini Method. So a lot of times I was working with overwhelmed founders, and it's overwhelming just how you've described it. It's everything is running. You're holding on to so many hats. You're juggling so many balls. And you need the support, or you need the help, or you do want somebody to come in, but at the same time, there's just not enough time for you to stop and be able to hold this person's hand and take them through the actual help you need them to be able to give you. So you do want somebody to come in and get going. And a lot of what I do as an operations consultant is I come in and I work as your partner. So the CEO and the COO, we are working together, but at the same time, I have to understand that you are juggling so many balls and you do have everything going on. And that's how the Amini method came to be. I realized that to be able to come into your world and to come into your organization, I need to understand your why. Yes. And how I can understand your why is understanding your mission, your vision, your values. What are your boundaries? So that's where we start. And it's a very beautiful place to start, because for just a few weeks, it allows you to remember, why am I doing this exactly?
Yes.
What did I dream of this to be? What was the vision I had 3 years ago, before the clients, before the money, before the everything else that came with building a business? What is it I wanted it to be? And do I still desire that? Am I still working towards that when we're looking through your vision? And then your values. Are you leading from a place of your values? And that comes from, just the things that you're accepting, the people you're working with, the decisions that you're making, are they being led from a place of your values? Because a lot of times when you're not working from a place of that value, when your value system is being bombarded by something, that becomes a lot of friction, and then you realize you're not happy with what you're doing anymore. And then we also look at your boundaries as well. Do you have boundaries with your work? Are you the work and is the work you, or is there a differentiation as well? So I do find that when we start from that, before we get to the nitty gritty of, actual business, there is a coming down, there is a pulling back, and there is a like, okay, I like where this is going, let's go forth. Or you know what? I think I need to go back to what I was dreaming about before I started this and start a different direction to get there. So that's how
I love that. And I guess what you perfectly spoke about, you can adapt to all aspects of your life, because at every point we need to have a review, if you like, our own review on whatever of why am I in this relationship, why am I picking this place to live, why am I
Yes.
And I guess the thing that's coming up right now is when you have, and I think when, say, like a founder, CEO, or whoever you're working with has scheduled that time to connect with you, I feel like it's very different to in the moment. So for example, when I'm reading your intro, I can't just go, I'm just going to stop a second, I'm just going to have a little rest, actually, let me just think about this. Let me just think why this has come up like this. Like, you see what I mean? And we're laughing about it, but actually it is kind of, it is true, and it should be done that way, and we should organize things. But sometimes, again, I think when it's so structured, when you're ready for it, when you're prepared for it, would you say sometimes that, which is why I'm sure they connect with you, because you see the blind spots, but sometimes it almost can be restrictive as well, in a sense, because you're kind of giving this allocated time or whatever, and you're focusing on whatever you're focusing on. And I guess that's why it's important to connect with you, because you pull that out of them. So even if it's like, okay, in an hour, but you come as that, almost that business fairy godmother that comes in and goes, actually, let's scrap that. Let's have a look at this. And I can imagine, not everybody, but I'm just thinking aloud here. I can imagine when you kind of say, no, we're not actually going to focus on the business straight away. Some people probably be like, what do you mean? No, we I'm on a deadline, I'm on time, so I also equally believe we have to get to the root of things. We have to go deep. So I love that. Thank you.
No, it's very, very true. And you do get sometimes when people are like, wait, no, I don't want to do the deep work. I don't want to go to any of that. And that's understandable. But yes, the way I do it is in a way that it will be gradual. because things will come up as we go. There's no way where we sit in an hour and we can say we got everything done and we've shut that box and we can go back to it. We will go back to it. It will come up. And as we start going into the structure of the business and the pillars of the business and the things we're looking into in the nitty-gritty, and you're like, wait a minute, I understand why this wasn't working before for me. There was friction here now because the value system was being, it was not working out. Oh, wait, the vision was actually not this. This is not what I wanted it to be. And something is not working. And then you start to actually understand why those things are not working in the way you wanted them to work before.
Absolutely. I love that. And thinking even about a vision or the values, how someone could interpret that is very different as well, because say it's a statement and then you have certain words, well, the meaning of that word can mean very different to you as it is to me. So it's actually really important we have these conversations, I think, and not just always at the top and then it being spoken and then kind of I just assumed everyone else knows what that means. Because I think sometimes, and this is just my own experience of sometimes, an email will get sent, like there'll be a meeting and then an email will get sent, or you'll get a briefing on a piece of paper come around or something. But and I get that in these huge organizations, we can't always all sit down and have the conversation, but I think these are really key conversations, because if everybody isn't aligned with that vision, they don't fully understand the vision of the business, which is the foundation, I think, and the values, and actually what that value really means. I think then, you've kind of got people working on different mindsets and
Yes. No, you put it very, very well. I do find that a lot of times when the friction comes in, when the people are not being able to support the founder, either in a small organization or a big organization, it's because the vision is not being mapped to what the people are doing every day. So it seems like people are busy and they're moving a particular needle, but it's not moving in the right direction. They're not really understanding what the founder is trying to get at, and that's not being put into their everyday, so they can work towards a certain goal, and that then it feels like nothing is really happening because we're trying to move to B, but everybody's facing this direction, so it's really trying to get to this direction. So it is very important to make sure that everybody's understanding that, hey, we are moving towards this goal, this is where we're targeting to reach, and that means for your role, this is what it means, for your role, this is what it means, and everybody is able to understand where they're trying to go and what they're actually trying to achieve for every role. So that becomes now exactly where we now go into the business and see, okay, did we hire the right people for this role? Are they doing every day something that is mapped towards where the business is trying to go? Do they understand it? Do they have the power to make decisions? Because a lot of the business that I work with are small businesses, so with maybe 50 staff and under, and sometimes a lot of these businesses are still so founder reliant. Meaning that sometimes these people do not have the capacity, not the capacity, but the power to make the decisions that they need to be able to make to move their roles forward, and everything still circles back to the founder or just a few key people with historical knowledge of the business. And that brings a lot of bottlenecks. But if these people are able to be given first of all, the layer foundation of the vision, the mission that they're trying to go, but at the same time be given the power to be able to make these decisions, to be able to take the company to where they need to be able to go, then it really helps when they understand, okay, the founder would make this type of decision because of this. That means every small thing is not circling back to them. And that also just goes back to what we talked about, the overwhelm and carrying too many things. Then that becomes something that is now released from them, and they go back to being the visionary that they actually are.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for explaining that. And I think even down to, because obviously, like what we say, we do have these smaller businesses, we have these bigger businesses, but even I even think feedback, and I often find this, I think even with feedback, sometimes what is said in small teams is very different to what then gets communicated. So I think it's always so important to have creative ways of gaining feedback without it being personal to that person, because I feel like people do need an outlet to speak, and then equally it needs to be acknowledged, because I think then there's the other side of it of it is all put in place and then nothing comes of it, so then people think, well, what's the point contributing as well? And I just think, you know, if you and again, like, I guess some people could be listening to this thinking, I've got this many employees, like, are you serious? But I think when you are like the founder, you did what you did, going back to your why, which you so beautifully said. There was a reason why you're doing what you did, and you are continuing to do and implementing. It should be seen like your baby, like your you know, like a home, because you wouldn't just go however many days just not speaking to someone in your own home. Like, at the end of the day, this is something that you create because you felt something about passionate about it, or there was a deeper cause for something you're doing. And that really should be filtered down, I think, and equally to people who are, you know, in these leadership roles in these organizations. I think again, sometimes it becomes a job, and I think you have to go back to, especially when you're doing a leadership role, why am I really doing this? Because it all does filter down. So
no, that's very true, and that's where the people fast comes in, because I'm not the type of I really didn't want to be the type of consultant who comes in with my knowledge and the things that I know, and I write down, you know, a full book, and I send it to you, and I tell you, you know, these are the key points, do all this, and then you'll be fine. I really didn't want to be that type of consultant. I wanted to be the type of consultant who goes down to the people and understands from the people's perspective. There's a clog over here, there's a bottleneck over here, there's something that is not working. These are the problems and the challenges that we are finding with the management, with the leadership, and this is what they're talking about. What is your everyday, you know, challenge? What is the thing that you're doing every day that is actually not moving this thing forward to the way it's supposed to move? And you get so much insight from the people who are doing the work every single day. And sometimes I've gone in and it's been like, oh, we need a system. We need to have a system to change all this, da, 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 da. But then when you go down and you sit with the people, we're like, yes, but this system was brought last year, and nobody consulted how the people actually interact with the system and use the system. Or is it even solving the problems and the needs they have every day? And then, you know, you realize that, hey, the system wasn't actually the problem. It's because maybe we are missing a few certain people here, or the skills that the people have do not match what they're being asked to do. And that's why there's a friction over here. So that's where the people first came from, is sitting with the founder and them as a person, understanding what is your why, what is your vision to do in this way that you're trying to go, and what's your value system. But at the same time, with the founders that I work with that do have teams, even if it's a team of 10 people or 5 people, just still going back to them and finding out in your everyday what goes on with you. What do you do for the business? What are your skills? Because again, sometimes people do get hired with one skill, but people reskill over time, and they've been doing different things, and they could be able to support the company to do another thing that, you know, they don't even know that that's a need for the company at the moment. And the founder doesn't know that there's actually somebody qualified who could actually do something else. So it's always so important for me to understand the problem, holistically, but at the same time to just go down to the people as well and understand, what are your skills? What are the different things you can do? What are the problems you can solve? What do you understand about this company, and where do you think you'd best fit? Because maybe you've served here for 1 year, but you know what? You need to serve somewhere else. And you see, in bigger organizations, there would be things like they call like a parallel shift, where you move at the same level to something else. But in smaller organizations, sometimes there just isn't time to be able to have that type of development coming in. And those are the types of things that I come in and sort out, so that when I leave, implementation has happened beyond just giving you a manual and telling you, you know, this is how you solve this operationally, or this and the other thing.
I think that's amazing, and I really love what you're doing, because and I guess we can only ever speak from our own experiences. But I think sometimes, and like thinking of a physical system of where they've trialed that one, everyone kind of doesn't really know, and you're navigating it, and then another one comes, but you're still you're on that one and that one. And I think just sometimes there just needs to be an explanation. Again, back to that, we're not robots, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, you have to input onto this system and this system, but there's no explanation why. Okay, well actually we're finding that this one isn't the best for us, we're really sorry about this right now, it's not going to be long term, however for now. That's a very different conversation to feeling like it's just wasting your time, and no one wanting to own up to anything, and I'm not saying this happens in all businesses, but I think sometimes, again, there's lots of conversations happening, but sometimes it's the ones that are actually, like what you say, almost actually physically dealing with the actual system, not making the decisions, that are the ones going, why am I uploading this 5 times? This is not a valuable use of my time. But there's no explanation,
Yes.
And I think it sounds like a really minor thing, but that can really affect someone's well-being from going, sending like, oh, it's one email or something, but if you're doing it 5 times or so, obviously I'm very exaggerating, but I mean that does have an implication on someone's day, and they just get used to something, and then something else changes, and so I just think these conversations are really important. And I don't know why this is coming up, but I'd love your take on this. I also think that and it's not all leaders, but I think there needs to be more like a reward system or something for highlighting exceptional skills, things that you've seen in your teams. Because again, I feel like sometimes, and it's not always, but sometimes people, when they go into these leadership roles, and maybe they said the right things, and maybe it's more a reflection on them, and they maybe don't feel quite up to the role, so they're navigating. I feel like sometimes there can be a lot of like not wanting people to know that it's other people on their team that have supported them and helped them, because they still feel like, well, if I say other people are better at this system or doing this, then they might think I can't manage my team. And I know that's a really tricky one, but you see that happen so often, and again, that's not good for people's well-being. I think when you don't have you know that the leader is almost like copying things, which is fine because it doesn't ever belong to anyone, but there's not any ever celebration for the person who maybe implemented that idea. And I think, I don't know, I think that should be another thing, thinking of the people, back to heart-centered and people approach, that would just really help with people's well-being, I think.
No, that's very true. When people lose morale, when people are not excited about their work, and truth be told, you won't be excited about your work every day. Some days it's just very repetitive, and you're doing the same thing, and it doesn't give you as much joy. But when you're being rewarded by being even just recognized, it doesn't really have to be something really major, but being recognized as the person who solved that problem, or the person who has the solution to this, or the person who really knows how to do this well, it does boost morale, and it does make people actually want to give more and do more. And you're very right. When people get to a point where they're growing and there are more people in the team, and some people in the team do not feel seen, they don't feel heard, or whatever is in leadership, or the people in leadership are not allowing their light to actually shine, it does start to affect the people that are working in those places, and then things do seem like they're not working, but it's really just a people problem. It's something that people just to be seen, to be motivated, to be encouraged. And that's why I usually find it so important to sit with the people, because then you realize that I sat with a client from a therapy center once, and she has this amazing therapist, but had no idea so many other skills that they would be able to do ways they could be able to help, because naturally most people always want to just benefit the company that they're working in, but also they always are learning something new, they always are bringing in something new, and they have so much insight. And some of them had maybe done a degree in marketing before shifting. So she needed so much support when it came to marketing and understanding the markets and stuff like that. And imagine just having that resource right there, somebody who not only has a degree in marketing, experience in marketing, but somebody who now shifted and became a therapist as well. So then they have just both sides of the coin. But just sitting with them and being able to understand, oh, hey, you could actually do more, and there's more than you can actually give into this. And so here's the position: sit here, do this, learn this, teach this, give us the insight, or even just being appreciated for, just let us know what we could do different just internally. It's amazing what that does to people.
Absolutely. And again, it's not a one size fit all. It's not like as you will know, it's very unique to the company. So again, like, we can share experiences, but until you know the culture and the insights and what you so beautifully do when you go into companies, it's kind of, you have your strategies, you have whatever, obviously you'll share more about your method in a minute, but ultimately, until you're in, like with everything, until you're in and you're present and you're feeling it, and you get an idea, because you can feel, anywhere you go, you can feel the energy of the place, the morale of the people very, very quickly. Even restaurants, you could go to a restaurant and you're just like, I'm not sure, like, it's really fancy, but I feel a bit uncomfortable, like people feel different in different spaces. So with that in mind, thank you so much for all that you've shared so far. It's been really, really insightful. And I know you touched on it previously, but obviously if there's anything else you would like to share about your method so that people can reach out to you and get in contact, because I love all that you're doing. And sorry, just before that, is this an online thing as well, or just in person? Or because I know it's the Middle East and Africa that you cover.
Yeah, so I do work online as well with a few of my clients, and even for long term online, actually. I would meet with the team online, I'd meet with the founder online. So yes, I do support the people that I work with online as well. Currently, I'm in the Middle East, but I do also work with people as well in other places.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, so again, like, I know you spoke about earlier, but if there is anything else you would love to share about your method, or anything else that you feel like people would really benefit from hearing, like, feel free.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, so Q2 is coming up. We're now towards the end of Q1, and a lot of founders will be sitting down to look at their goals, to look at the things that they've been able to achieve in Q1 and what do they want to do in Q2. So I have a really good resource that is on my website, aminibusinessconsulting.com, and you could just go in and download it, and that shows you a little bit of my method as well, looking at the pillars of business that you'll be looking at, and then something we call lanes. So under every pillar of business, for example, if you're looking at operational efficiency, there would be lanes that you're looking at to be able to see, are we operationally doing as we need to be able to do? And if we're not, how can we be able to get there? Then so we go through 90 days, 30 days as well. And it just helps you just sit down actually and deeply think about, what is it that I want to be able to do if I'm a solopreneur, but even with somebody who has a team, what can my team be able to do for Q2 to take us where we actually need to be? And of course, on my website, there's a way for you to contact me and call me, or sitting on a discovery call or a clarity call. If you're at a place where you feel your business, hey, I need to sit down and really go back to the why I'm doing this business, and I feel overwhelmed, I feel there's just so much chaos, and I need clarity towards the next phase of my business, then yes, I do love. I always say that I love to dream with dreamers, and I feel like a lot of founders are dreamers because they are dreaming up solutions to people's problems, and I just love to be the person who's just sitting with them.
Absolutely, Evelyn. And I just want to really highlight something that you beautifully said. So I hope that shows that I do really listen to what you say, because we spoke about, companies, small, big, and then you
Yeah.
so beautifully highlighted those solo ones. Absolutely. Because yes, they've got all these hats. And often, they've not done a course in this, they've not done a course in that. I know for a fact when I first started this, I didn't know nothing about branding. I didn't know nothing about logos, etc., etc., etc. And even now, we're multiple hats, but it's just interesting, and I love that you just mentioned that, because yeah, it's then in your growth when your team grows, and all of a sudden you're handing your baby over.
To someone else, yes.
Yeah, so it's just so interesting, isn't it? Because I
Yeah.
believe you can see from both sides actually of having a team and not having a team, because essentially you almost are all roles unless you put trust and have a team, or connect with an incredible woman like you to give you the some insight and guidance. So
No,
thank you for really
but
highlighting
oh, of
that.
course, no. I love working with solopreneurs. I love people who are building something. You're so aspirational when you're at that stage where this is your baby. You
Yeah,
know what it can grow to. You have these dreams about it. It's amazing what the Amini Method does for you, because then you
beautiful.
actually sit down and look at this baby and think, wow, this is an actual business and I need to treat it like an actual business. And that's
Yes.
actually, it's nice that you touched on it, because that's one of the reasons why I went into this. Went
Mm,
into doing operations, and operations specifically because I grew up around a lot of business people who were amazing at what they do. Just honestly, to me, geniuses really. But the
mm.
businesses weren't growing to the next level. They weren't really being able to make this a generational business or be able to sell the business. But a lot of times that just comes down to your operations. You can't sell your
Yeah.
business because your business is you and you are the business. So if somebody else wants to buy this business, they have nothing. You have nothing to
Yeah.
show. And yes, you've done a
Ugh.
really good job, but they can't be able to buy it from you because you are the business. And you're not able to give it to the next person or the next generation because there's nothing written down, there's no system really, there
Mm.
is nothing that even is able to be given to the next person to take it over and do this and that, the other thing. All the relationships with the contractors or suppliers or all of that is all through you. And
Yes.
when you're not there, then that is not there. And I just fell in love with operations and what it can be able to do for a business, how it can open up a business, how it can take somebody from solopreneur to, wherever they want
Mm.
to be. And we live in a world right now where there's so many one-person businesses, and that is absolutely okay if that's where you want
Yeah.
to. But at the same time, even with that one-person business, it does need structure. It does
Yes.
need
Yes.
systems. It does need a way to be able to produce for you, not only now, but also in the future, so you're
Mm.
not running through farming and what do they call it? The farming and there's a saying where it's famine and something else, like the cycle of having and not having, because you
Yes.
actually have a
Yes.
way that you're
Yes.
going to be able to get your clients, how you're going to keep
Mm.
them on, and so forth and so on. So yeah, I could go on and on and on,
Well,
but I
I'm
do
really
really,
happy that
really have
I picked
to
up on
sort
that and asked you, because yeah, I can
of,
I can see a completely and a different shift, because again, I think I know sometimes it's obvious to some but not to others, but until it's really identified and we discuss it, and people can sometimes think, oh,
yeah,
okay, she works with businesses, da, 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 da. But it is a business. And what I
yeah,
really
yeah,
really love that
it
you
is.
touched on, and I could feel that enthusiasm, is often again the people, the founders with these ideas, they don't have I know I did
Yeah,
not have a business head at all, and I had this great idea, still have so
yeah,
many great ideas. And so that's why I think it's super
yes,
important to connect with incredible women like you, to have the two sides of, and I'm not saying, it's one way or the other way, but sometimes when you speak to someone who
yeah,
has a very different insight, you see things very differently than it just being this lovely thing that you're implementing. Because essentially, you
absolutely.
a business needs to generate money, you know, essentially. It needs to be generating growth, expansion. And equally it does. And then sometimes the person is still trying to, you know, carry on everything like you're the one person.
Everything.
So really, thank you so much. And I'm sure there's lots of people that are listening that are going to be so thankful for all that you've shared. So reach out to this incredible woman. And it doesn't have to be linked to what we've just said, but if there's something you feel someone listening right now would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
I tell them, keep going. A lot of times I speak to students, I speak to entrepreneurs, I speak to people really just wanting to do something, and you have this idea and you're just not sure if the world is ready for it yet. You know, you just will never know until you try it. So try it, don't be afraid to fail, and just keep going.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure connecting with you, and thank you for just like rolling with the experience and just being such a beautiful person to connect with. And I wish you an abundance in all you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Shel Marie. You too. You've made such a beautiful space. I didn't know what to expect, and it was such a nice conversation. So thank you as well for what you're doing.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
That's the magic that Zest is in.